Hello, friends of Skele Vader. I got a delivery yesterday from Big Bad Toy Store, and I had to go. I had to show it off today, mainly because if I waited till tonight's episode of Toy Frenzy with Oz, that would be rude to talk about this amazing new thing. I just want to talk about it for about 15, 20 minutes, and I know Oz would too. Um, Listen, this is exciting. Look at the artwork on this. It's fantastic. I'm really excited to get this open and have a look at it with you all here. I noticed there's one person watching is watching. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the chat. Yeah, I'm interested in getting that Pandora snout spout. I mean, I have the snout spout, Whiplash, and Trap Jaw. Lots of good figures back there. So I'm excited to talk about this figure, and Otis is excited too. So let's do it. Let's get this thing open. I have the box right here. I'm excited to share it with you all. I want to talk a little bit about. I want to compare the Teela to the Green Goddess a little bit, and I also want to compare the Zoar to the vintage Screech, because I have a vintage Screech. So I'm excited to talk about this with you all. Let's get it open. And El Tenda, welcome. Glad you like Otis. Hey Scott, how's it going, man? Good to see you both. Glad you're both here. I know this is an impromptu live, but like I said just now, and hello Thanoscopter, good to see you. Oz Geis, Ostradamus Toys, and I are going live tonight for our next episode of Toy Frenzy. And man, I was tempted to talk about this tonight, but I'm like, no, I got to talk about it today, because if Oz and I were to get going on this before introducing our very special guest tonight, who is Blake Wright, the mastermind behind Toy Collector Magazine, then I think we'd be taking up too much of that time. So let's get this thing opened. I've got my X-Acto knife here. And yeah, it's good to see you guys here. Thanks for tuning in at such late notice. That means you must have your alarm set or notification set. I'm going to be careful with this because I do not want to damage this box. I don't save all of my Origins art, but couple of these I really do want to save, and this one in particular I do. But this is an amazing two-pack. Let's show the back art again. Great stuff. So how are you guys doing? How are you doing on a Saturday? Holding up? All right, got it out. No damage to the box. And by the way, the box showed up from Big Bad Toy Store, along with a really cool sticker. This is a Big Bad Toy Store. If you're listening, this is awesome, because you were previously sending postcards, but this sticker's great. Definitely going to put this on something. How's it going, Ray? Collecting Classics. Good to see you all. Look at this. Hey, I should do this. I always forget. We got El Tenda chiming in, mentioning how cute Otis is. Yes, absolutely. And Thanos Copter, good to see you. Good to see you. And Scott Baker, can't wait to get his, right? And Ray from Collecting Classics made it. Now, Ray, I'm glad you're here, because I do want to do a little shout out to you, mainly because your guest this coming Wednesday is Nate Barch. And he is the fantastic artist who's done a lot of amazing works for Mattel during this current era. And one of Nate's favorite figures is the Green Goddess. And I'm excited to compare her to Teela. I missed out on getting the original release of Origins Teela. But, you know, Green Goddess is everywhere. You know, we're not finding any figures, but we find Green Goddess and Jitsu and Buzz Off in the stores. And yeah, so I know this is one of Nate's favorites. So I'm glad you were able to chime in, Ray, from Collecting Classics, so I could give a little shout out. And hey, folks, tune in to Collecting Classics on Wednesday night. He's going to be talking to Nate Barch. So first, I want to get Zoar out. Honestly, I'm really stoked to have a Teela, but I'm really excited to have a Zoar. Let's see. I got the two little. Okay, here it goes. Yes, Scott, that's right. Nate does all the amazing Mythic Legions artwork too. For those of you that collect Mythic Legions, or for those of you that aren't familiar with Mythic Legions, I'm pretty sure everybody in here is familiar with Mythic Legions, but man, you guys got to check that out. Good stuff. Thank you, Ray. Here. So yeah, Nate does the Mythic Legions artwork. Ray, thanks, man. I came here for you, brother. Hey, we got to support each other, right? And Collecting Classics channel is just getting started. Amazing stuff, folks. You gotta subscribe. All right, now here it is. Here is Zoar. Zoar, however you want to pronounce it. Let's get a good look at that face, because I really wanted to see what the difference is. Now the mechanism is better than the vintage. I don't know if you all remember, but the vintage mechanism, like always one wing would just flop up and the other one wouldn't really flop as much. But yeah, this is good. This is definitely more rubbery plastic than the vintage. And the claws and the body and the head is the hard plastic, similar to the vintage. But let's do a little comparison here. Let's do that. I've got my vintage Screech. So shout out to the vault, because that's where I was able to get my Screech. And this Screech is in amazing shape. I actually found it in a bin, and its wings had fallen off, and they gave me a really good deal on it, and I fixed it, put the little harness on there. So let's look at these two. Let's see here. We've got how does Zoar feel? Good. Lighter than the vintage. I have a hard time. Okay, there we go. But look at those faces. The vintage is, I don't know if you can see this, they're practically the exact same. Folks, I think this is the same mold. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen a lot of that. I'm just going to say a lot of that because I don't want to make any bold statements. But I think this is the exact same mold. So Zoar feels great, solid, a little bit lighter than the vintage, but the wings always seem to pop off a little bit easily. But the Zoar seems like that's on there. That's not going anywhere. Usually this is where it would start to break off there. But man, I think this is the exact same mold as the vintage, which means I don't have the stand for my Screech. And you know how I favor the villains. I might use the stand here that came with this set for Screech. So let's see. Oh, it makes me nervous. All right, so look at that. Oh my gosh, folks. So the stand has a little bit of translucence to the base plastic. And there is a little bit of a sheen to it, a little bit of a metallic sheen. But this is the vintage Screech standing on top of the new Origins Zoar stand. So it works, folks. Awesome. I mean, I was not expecting that. I was expecting, you know how the vehicles are all a little bit bigger, and the Origins figures are not the same. They're definitely new sculpts. So I was not expecting to see practically. We'll have to count the feathers. I'll have to count the feathers on my own time to see if it's the exact same mold. So yeah. So Ray, YARP. I don't know what YARP means, but that's a word that resonates in my mind about these things fitting together so well. This one, I mean, this stand being, I think this is taller than the vintage, but because I don't have a vintage stand, I can't do a comparison. But now let's look at the harness, because I think the harness is the same. No, the harness is a little different, folks. The harness is a little different. All right, so let's get that open. Let's get that out. The harness is a little different. It does have the same attachment area. Okay, everything about this is the same. Everything about this is the same, except the fin on the top here. This part on the vintage is wider than this one. Yeah. So, but yeah, the design's all the same. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. The little, mechanical element there on the top, right here. That's exactly the same. So really, folks, the only difference between the vintage Zoar and the vintage and the contemporary Zoar and the vintage Screech is the width of this one fin, or what do we call it? There's a name for it. For those of you who like cars, you know the name for that. But there's and airplanes. This is not as thick as the vintage. Maybe which is more aerodynamic, folks? The smaller fin back here, or the bigger one? What is more aerodynamic? We will have to see. I'm not going to throw them across the room. And let's get Teela out. Let's have a look at her. I know she looks awesome. One thing I did notice about mine is that the this is a little bit bent in the package, but it's soft enough plastic that'll adjust in time, I'm sure. Now, do you all know, I feel like this is definitely a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, but there's nothing on the box that says that. Do you all think this will show up in stores eventually? I hope so. I'd like other people to get this. All right. Let's see. Thanos. I actually went to the vault earlier today, ran into another one of your viewers. What? Thanos, next time you go to the vault, you got to let me know, man. We got to meet up over there. That's awesome. In fact, I was just in the neighborhood earlier today, and there was a street sale at Wonderland, outside of Wonderland Comics. If you watch my channel, you've seen me go to the street sale. I only had $5 on me. I'm like, I'm not going to spend more than $5. And I got Ratlord. Now, he's got some damage, but I got Ratlord for $5, folks. And it works. The mechanism works. Thanos Copter, you went there too? Man, that's awesome. Well, shoot, we live in the same area. It's about a 30-minute drive for me too. Sounds to me like you and I both kind of live outside of the Fresno area. That's cool. So yeah, Thanos, you got my email address. You got my Instagram information. Definitely message me next time you're going to be heading down there, and we'll meet up. We'll look at some toys together. And Nolan, good to see you. Welcome to it. Yeah. All right, cool. So I got rat lore today for $5. Vintage rat lore. Now let's look at this Teela. This is cool. And yeah, definitely hit me up next time you're heading over. You know, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to look at, and this Fresno area. They've got a lot of good stuff, especially at the Vault, and there's a few other stores too that I haven't covered in this channel. Hello, Gamer Bud, everybody. The premier Patreon for the Skele Vader channel, sole Patreon, Gamer Bud. Not a deal breaker by any means, but I'm a little disappointed by the Teela figure has more yellow armor and staff rather than the gold that was clearly shown in the pictures. Yes, I was gonna get to that. In fact, this is the yellow on her body. See how bright that looks? I think it's great. It's gonna look good in photographs. And there is a little bit of a metallic sheen to the yellow paint. So they were going for a kind of gold. Yellow is disappointing compared to the gold that was shown. Yes, and welcome to it, Vintage Motu. Good to see you. For those of you that do not listen to Collectors of the Universe podcast, definitely do it. That's an amazing podcast. I've added it to my roster of podcasts that I listen to. Good stuff. So thank you for being here. It's good to see you. So this is kind of like, oh yeah, here we go. Is that gold, Coldar yellow, or gold? This is Coldar, folks. Coldar yellow. We can define it as Coldar yellow from now on. Now, I want to point out that the sword, and I have a hard time getting these things. There we go. The sword and the staff. This sword is amazing, by the way. You can't really see maybe you can, the details on this. This is very cool. This is very cool. I don't feel like we've seen this sword yet in the line. Really great design. But the yellow is not the metallic yellow to match the paint on her body, but it is sort of a translucent yellow. They put a little bit of gloss on that one little jewel right there in the middle. It's like translucent. It is not gold. So if you folks are going to be disappointed by that, just letting you know ahead of time, this is translucent yellow. It's not even metallic yellow. It's like candy. It looks like candy. Lemon drops. Looks like lemon drops. These are lemon drops weapons. Okay. Hashtag lemon drop weapons. The other thing I noticed too, and I don't want to sound disappointed, but I'm thinking that seems like a lost opportunity. The snake armor is, aside from mine being warped, is exactly the same color as the Green Goddess, and probably the Origins Teela, which came out before the Green Goddess. Like I said, I don't have the Origins Teela. Let's see. I think the sword is the 2000X sword. Okay, well, that's awesome, Scott. Thank you for that. I'll have to look into that. I mean, I believe you, but for sure. But I don't know why I never noticed before. That's very cool. And Gamer Bud, I do like that they added the white on the fur of the boots. Yes, the white on the fur of the boots is very cool. You had to paint it on your Teela along with the white fur around the collar. Yeah, it's nice that she has her sword. Yes. So El Tenda says it looks like a 2000X Teela. Absolutely, I see that. I love the ponytail, which definitely harkens back to the 2000X Teela. The tiara thing there is cool. Face sculpt, let's compare the face sculpt. I'm going to take Green Goddess's armor off. Let's compare the face sculpt. Did they change the face? No. The face is the same. The face is the same, but the hair is different. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, I painted my snake armor a bit with the gold highlights around the border eyes and the V shape that goes down the chest part of the armor. Yeah, and did the same with the shield. Little details. Little details add a lot, folks. You know, like I don't mind on my rat lore, like scuffs like this. He's got a little white. Maybe I can scrape that off. Oh yeah, I can scrape off the white scuff he has on his nose. But I can do just a little touch up on his teeth to get the white back, and I can do a little yellow touch up on the eyes without, you know, just to bring back some of those details without changing too much of the play wear and tear, which I kind of love to see in my vintage figures. I might even touch that up a little bit. That yellow might be hard to match, but I love this. I love this guy. I never had this guy as a kid, so seeing him today at the street sale, $5. He's got a little bit. He has something in there, a treasure inside of there. So yeah, folks. What did we discover from this? Well, first we discovered that. Oh, let's put the armor on Zoar. And this is really easy to do. The biggest differences between the new. There we go. The biggest differences between the Origins Zoar and, again, I don't have a vintage Screech, is that they are softer plastic, lighter plastic. The fin back here is a different size on both of these, but everything else is exactly the same. So much so that Screech can stand on the stand. Yeah. Let's see here what we got. Oh, so Gamer Bud, you added details on the snake hood, the gold highlights. That's great. Scott Baker, gonna have to try that. So Gamer Bud, your advice is going a long way, as usual. So I'm going to. What do you think? Yeah, pretty awesome. I do think this is taller. Can you guys tell me if this is taller than the vintage? I do think this is taller, which is cool, which is great that they did that. I guess I should probably just try and find a vintage stand. Let's put Zoar on the new stand. Yep. Good stuff. All right, so I'm really happy with this. There's not a lot of differences here. The paint is not gold. It is Coldar Gold. Hashtag Coldar Gold. She does have the ponytail, which is awesome. Her sword is fantastic. 2000X sword. Her staff is fantastic. They are lemon drop yellow, slightly translucent, definitely look like candy, definitely lemon drops. Just they're missing the sugar coating, the powdered sugar coating. Let's see here, Gamer Bud. No, I was talking about tucking the snake hood on the snake armor behind her head by taking the head off of her and pushing the hood back. Man, that sounds cool, but I'm gonna have to see that, Gamer Bud. I am a visual learner, so send me a picture. I'd love to see what you're doing. I'd love to see what you are all doing with your customs and how you're making your figures. If they're slightly disappointing to you, how are you making your figures fit the aesthetic parameters that you were hoping for? Welcome to it, Ostradamus Toys. Good to see you, buddy. I was just mentioning earlier in the video that I decided to do an impromptu live today because there's just so much to say about this Teela Zoar 2-pack and I didn't want to take away from Blake Wright's interview tonight. But these came in the mail. Folks, Oz is working his magic out there on the YouTube. Definitely subscribe to Ostradamus Toys. Oz is showing up on everybody's channels these days, and that's awesome. Like Oz, when you and I met, you were trying to get started. It's fantastic. Let's see. I have the vintage Zoar and Screech with stands, but no bases. Okay, so Oz, can you tell me is with the stands but without the base? That's interesting. Does this come off? Oh, it does. All right, so that comes off. I didn't break it, just fell down there. Can you tell me, Oz, is this stand taller than the vintage stand? I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is. So, awesome. I appreciate it. I think that you guys are all having a conversation over there. That's great. So, folks, thank you so much for being here. I want to say a couple of things. I'm going to mention these folks tonight as well during our episode. But first, I want to promote tonight's episode. We're going to be talking to Blake Wright, Ostradamus Toys, Skele Vader, me, and we're going to be talking to Blake Wright of Toy Collector magazine, the first toy magazine we've had in ages. Oh, real quick, it looks taller. All right, cool. So the only difference between the vintage and the origins is the size of that fin back there on the top. That's it. The only difference: lighter plastic, taller stands. All right. Yeah, Toy Frenzy tonight. Blake Wright is our guest. Don't miss it, folks. Live, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Definitely tune in tonight. I'm excited to promote that, but I also want to say a big thank you to folks that have been reaching out to me and to Oz, Collectors of the Universe. We got one of you here, Vintage Motu. Thank you so much for being here. I also want to say big thank you to Ray from Collecting Classics for being so awesome. Definitely a big thank you to Mega J Retro for being so supportive of our endeavors here. And I also want to thank my steadfast pals, Legends of Grayskull podcast and Podcasters of the Universe, for doing the good stuff out there too, and for always being supportive of my efforts. And also a new discovery, Cracktastic Plastic podcast. You all need to listen to them too. All these folks I feel like we're all part of a really exciting team. And for those of you that are here, Scott, Thanos Copter, Gamer Bud, everyone that's tuned in today, Nolan, who am I missing? El Tenda, of course. El Tenda, you're like, the stuff you're posting is amazing. And man, you always get the stuff before I'm able to find it. You're doing the good hunt. So it's really great to have you all here. If I forgot to mention anybody, I apologize, but I feel like I got everyone. I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for being part of this community and being so supportive of one another. That's what counts. What did you find? Yes, I just found them too. Oh, you found that? Oh, yeah. All right, I get it. Yeah. All right, cool. You found all the people that I'm nodding here or giving a nod to. Yes. Thank you, Vintage Motu. Everybody on your podcast, you're all hilarious. You have a lot of good things to say about the world we're in right now as far as collecting Motus. So you're doing the good work, folks. I'm gonna get Teela put back into her snake armor. I'm gonna put her on display on my little Origins shelf in the toy room. It's still coming together. and enjoy the rest of my Saturday until the live tonight, when I'll be enjoying my Saturday even more. So tune in tonight to Toy Frenzy, folks, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking to Blake Wright of Toy Collector Magazine. It's going to be awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. And thank you all for clicking like, subscribing, all the stuff to this channel. It's awesome. Please feel free to join GamerBud and become a Patreon. But right now, I'm really enjoying having GamerBud be part of this. And thank you so much. So see you all later. All right, here is the slow end broadcast here. All right, bye.